North Macedonia is entering Eurovision 2021 with Vasil and his song Here I Stand. But does his song make us want to give it a standing ovation or send us for a lie down? Let's review Eurovision. So, Here I Stand is North Macedonia's entry to Eurovision 2021, but how will it compare to their previous entries? Their best result ever came back in 2019 with the song Proud by Tamara Torevska. And there was a bit of controversy there because she won the jury vote, but due to a calculating error with one of the votes, she didn't win the jury vote on the night. It's very confusing, but she did win the jury vote. And that was the first time North Macedonia had any real success in the contest. Before then, they've had middling years. They've struggled to qualify for the final. The last time before then that they made it to the final was back in 2012 with Krenoi Bello, apologies for pronunciation, by Calliope Grill. Calliope Grill does sound like a restaurant, but that is her name. North Macedonia has struggled with fashion choices. And staging, and generally they have struggled to stand out. But will 2021 see them carry on the good fortune they had last Eurovision with the song Here I Stand? Here is a little snippet.
They all tried to break us, not knowing it's what makes us. This is how we found our way.
So, Emily, give us your thoughts. Are you a fan of North Macedonia's entry, or is it not for you?
It's not for me, is where I'd have to kind of sit on this one. It's very strange. It's very kind of Disney film vibes. It's very kind of, it's not really a kind of song that we usually see in Eurovision. It is kind of quite almost musical. So whether kind of people take to that, I'm not sure. But yeah, for me, it's kind of, I don't take to that. And I don't really have it much more to say on it. It's that kind of, I kind of heard it and I kind of forgot about it. And I don't know if they're trying to kind of continue the success that they had in 2019 by kind of picking a ballad, but I don't think this ballad will sit in the same way their last entry did, unfortunately.
So not high praise there from Emily. James, are you a bit more positive, or do you agree with her?
Now, I really liked North Macedonia. I thought it was something a bit different. I think it was sort of Joe McElderry meets Disney, if you know what I mean. It was a nice little piece, and really does feel like it's from the heart. You can tell there's something behind it, I think, which is quite special, and I quite like that. I think the setting of it is really cool. It's quite different. It looks like it's a sort of Egyptian museum almost, doesn't it? And I really liked that. I thought that was quite different and unique. And I think as well, thinking ahead to a final performance for the new Eurovision, I think it could be quite good on stage. I can sort of see now, the dry ice going across the stage. I can see the dramatic lights, going up and things. And I think it could be quite good. So, an interesting piece, I think, and an equally interesting singer they've chosen as well with Vasil.
So a little bit more positive there from James. I am tending to side with Emily. Unfortunately for Vasil, I think it's a fairly, again, another ballad by numbers. I don't think there's anything particularly stand out about it. And as you say, it's really musical theatre, which isn't my style anyway, particularly. It's not the type of thing that I enjoy. But then other genres, I'm not a fan of rock, but I do quite like Finland's entry, for instance. So it's, you can make me like songs in genres that I don't like at Eurovision. And he doesn't really do it with this, unfortunately. It feels very dramatic for the sense of being dramatic. It's a really strange one. And even the music video at the beginning, the first 30 seconds are him talking really emotively about how hard the past year has been for him and how hard it was having Eurovision get cancelled. And it feels really artificial. And I think that's the vibe that it creates at the beginning of the music video with him talking is exactly how I feel about the song. It feels very artificial and it feels over dramatic for the sense of it, but for the sake of it. So I'm not really a huge fan. That said, I do respect the fact that he wrote all of this song, the backing music, the lyrics, all by himself. And I think that does take guts to do that, because there are some, San Marino's entry, for instance, it's got about 11 people writing that one. So to come to Eurovision with a song that you've put your heart and soul into, I can only respect that. So congrats for doing that. But again, it's not really my cup of tea. So North Macedonia is performing 6th in the first semi-final. They'll be going after Australia and just before Ireland. So will this year's contest be another good one for North Macedonia? Do we think they'll qualify? And where does it sit in our personal rankings? Emily, your thoughts?
I think it will struggle to qualify for the final. Like you said before, North Macedonia has had a fairly kind of rocky history at Eurovision. You know, sometimes they qualify, sometimes they don't. They're not a consistent qualifier by any means. For me personally, I've ranked it way down at 36th. So it's really not ticking my boxes. And I do think it'll struggle to qualify because it doesn't kind of have that same power that their entry in 2019 did, unfortunately.
So down at 36 for Emily. James, where does it sit in yours?
So for my ratings, I said that I thought North Macedonia would be 21. So a fairly okay result with that one. I think, they could place better depending on how I think Eurovision crowd takes to it and how the staging is as well, because otherwise this song could be one that could be easily forgotten, I think, if it's not stood out against the rest of them. I think that's going to be something that's really important for them on the night.
Well, I again agree a bit more with Emily. It's down even one place below Emily's 36. I've put it down as 37, which is in my bottom 3, unfortunately. I think it really will struggle to qualify. I think there's, again, as with Slovenia, I think this is a contender to come last, but I think it stands a better chance of not coming last because there are more people who enjoy musical theatre as a style, and this is very musical theatre. So I think it will struggle. The juries will like it more than the televote, I reckon, but I do think it's going to struggle to cross the line and head into the top 10. I think it's a solid effort, but I think the running order does run in its favour because it's after Australia, which is another song that is, I reckon, going to struggle to qualify, and it's before Ireland, which is another one that is going to be on the bubble as well. So it's between two songs in a very strong semi-final. It's between two songs that are towards the bottom end of the semi-finals quality. In total then, 36 plus 37 plus 21 gives us a total for North Macedonia of 94. So considering the worst it can be is 117, that really isn't a great score, unfortunately, for North Macedonia, but there are worse to come. That sounded really ominous. There are worse to come, though. So keep an eye out for the rest of our reviews. Thank you very much for watching this one. If you like what you've seen, give us a like, a comment, and a subscribe. And if you do subscribe, hit the bell notification to get notified every time we upload new content. But that's it for this episode of Review Revision. See you next time.